There is a stitch on this machine that is called the hand look quilt stitch. Row 2, stitch number 11. Now this is a manipulated stitch, and when we pick it, it actually tells you to put, okay, P foot is actually the 1/4 inch foot. You can use a standard presser foot. You can also use a walking foot for this. But what it is you do need to use clear thread for this. So I'm going to go ahead and put on that optional thread stand that you can purchase separately here. We'll go ahead and take this off. I like to cut my thread and pull it out my needle so I don't backtrack any of the extra fuzz from down below. And then go ahead and pull that off. We'll go ahead and put this all the way on. I know you won't be able to see me thread this, but trust me, I am. We're also going to take a look at the tension setting for this stitch. You will find that it is very, very tight, because what we're going to do is the stitch that's going to look like you've been stitching by hand is actually the color of thread you put in your bobbin. So if we go to the set menu and look at tension, it's 6.0. A lot of times I end up turning that up a lot higher, but we'll just go ahead and start there and see what we're going to get. So let's just do a little test run here. So what it does is it does a few stitches forward and a few stitches back. Each time when it goes back, it drags the bobbin thread up. So I am going to go ahead, and I'm not seeing bobbin thread yet. So I usually find myself up around 7.5 to 8. A lot of people stitch this and they're like, oh, I don't see anything. It's not working, or they don't have the clear thread in the top. So what it's doing is it stitches forward, it stitches back, and when it goes back, it's really tight, so that drags that bobbin thread up. It locks it one time, and then stitches over where you see the color, and then it stitches again forward. Now this is where you see the clear, or don't see it, and it does it again. So it goes forward, drags that thread up. So you have, it looks like hand stitches, where every few stitches it looks like there's thread being pulled up to the top side. It is kind of fun to see. Okay, let's just give this a little peek so you can see what we're looking at. And it's not perfect, but you do have the look of hand stitching as you go. And again, you just have to manipulate it. Sometimes not all thread wants to pull up between the batting that you have. So I've had some thread, I usually will pick a cotton thread, but the slipperier the thread, the more it can easily come up between your layers, because we're pulling it up through cotton and 2 layers of fabric. It's got to travel that distance. So every element is going to play a fact into how this is going to look. So don't just say, oh, it doesn't look good. You're going to need to manipulate. I've had clear thread that hasn't been great. I've had bobbin thread that I just need to choose a different brand, and I've also had where certain battings don't let it come up through it. So it is definitely you have to play with it and probably give that thread tension a good crank up to a higher number.